In 2014, Hayley Smith was sitting in English class when she experienced a strange sensation that she was dead. The 14-year-old from Alabama went to see her school nurse, who wasn't able to find anything physically wrong. As she walked home that night, her mind wandered. Hayley fantasized about visiting a graveyard. She wanted to be close to others like her, others who were dead. Fortunately, there were no graveyards nearby. She decided to go back home and try and sleep it off. The next day, things seemed to have returned to normal. A few weeks later, Hayley was out shopping when the feeling suddenly came rushing back. She said, "My whole body went numb and I dropped all the dresses I was holding and ran out of the shop. I felt like I was going mad." Hayley started missing school. She slept through the day, spending nights awake. Her fantasies about graveyards continued, with daydreaming of picnics in the graveyard. She spent nights being comforted by horror films. The zombies made her feel at home, like she was with family. At this point, Hayley's life was spiraling out of control. She decided to eat whatever she wanted. After all, how could she put on weight if she was dead? Friends and family found that as time passed, they were seeing her less and less. One day, Hayley worked up the courage to share what she was experiencing with a friend, starting a journey towards recovery. She thought she'd be judged, considered a freak, but a friend just nodded and listened. She felt like this gave her the confidence to then tell her dad. Floyd, her father, encouraged her to see a psychiatrist. Afraid of the reaction to her situation, it took Hayley 2 years to finally find the courage to talk to this stranger. Hayley was diagnosed with Cotard's syndrome, or walking corpse syndrome, a rare disease with only 200 known cases worldwide. People living with Cotard's can believe that parts of their body don't exist. On the extreme end, they may even believe that they themselves are dead, dying, or don't exist. Cotard syndrome was first described in 1880 by French neurologist and psychiatrist Jules Cotard after a case involving a so-called Mademoiselle X. The case describes a woman who denied parts of her body existed, as well as her need to eat. She thought of herself as an eternally damned soul who could not die a natural death. Suffering from this belief that she did not need to eat, Mademoiselle X died of starvation. Whilst the cause of Cotard syndrome is not clear, doctors believe it to be related to damage to the fusiform face area of the brain. In a normal brain, this area would connect inputs and thoughts. That is to say, if you saw a person, you could recognize if that person was someone you were familiar with. For Hayley, she may have had a disconnect between what she could see as herself and what she recognized as herself. The conclusion? That she as a being did not exist and was in fact dead. At 17, after 3 years living with this syndrome, Hayley is living a full life. She says that Disney films helped her recovery. After all, how could she be dead when Disney films like The Little Mermaid and Aladdin made her feel so good?